Welcome back everyone. It's Tuesday the 14th of July and it's still hot. We're still in the middle of this oppressive heat wave. There is a gentle, very gentle breeze this morning, so it's made it a little bit more bearable, but I haven't really been coming up to the allotment. It's just been too hot. I've been doing a little bit of work in the garden, but even then that's been too hot. So you know, we've got all this nice weather, but it's just too nice, too hot. But let me give you a quick update of what's been happening here at the plot. Basically, all we've been doing is coming up and watering things. To water this entire plot takes about 2 hours. So yeah, we're trying to keep things watered and keep things growing. And so far, I think we're doing okay. So let me swing a camera around and we can have a look to see how things are getting on. Well, first thing we're looking at here is the sweet corn, and that's all coming along well. A couple are growing a little bit taller than the others, but it's all still growing in there. I need to go in there and deal with the weeds, but that'll be on one of my weeding days, so I'm not going in there today. This cabbage, I think, is a dead loss. It's just too open. This one's trying to produce a heart. Don't know. The kale's looking okay, and the Stromboli Calabrese broccoli looks okay. If I come round here, I've got 2 very small, sad-looking cauliflowers. They're not looking great. Everything else has been eaten. I've got the purple sprouting broccoli, which I've left to go to seed, so I'll be collecting the seed from that soon. Yeah, collecting the seed from that very soon. It's turning from purple to brown, so they're drying out. The tomatoes are doing well, but they need some attention to stick things up and get rid of suckers and that. But as you can see, these are the Siberian Panther. Some nice tomatoes there. Trick with tomatoes is that we try to get as many tomatoes as we can before the blight arrives, because once blight arrives, everything here will be wiped out. Single seed potato challenge is not looking very happy. I don't know whether this is just sun scorch or what, but yeah, I will be giving these another water before I go. But they're not looking very happy. The Siberian Panther, not the Siberian Panther, the pink panthers, doing a little bit better. We have got plenty of tomatoes on them. I don't know whether you can see that. Let's get a better angle. So you can see all the dark tomatoes there. They'll lighten up in colour as they mature. And we've still got some geraniums in between the tomatoes, but the borders here need a bit of a weeding, and everything needs a watering. So yeah, we'll get there. Parsnips are doing okay. Lost a couple, but they're the ones that are growing well should survive now. The trouble is with seedlings with this heat, because they're growing so close to the surface, it's the top, you know, about inch of soil that dries out the quickest. So if your seedlings are growing in that top inch of soil, then they're just going to dry out and die, which has happened to a couple of them. But we'll see what happens with the rest. Squashes are doing okay. We've got Crown Prince in there. We've got, what's that one called? Oh, that's the that's his butternut squash. I don't think that's a butternut squash. Oh, there it is. It's a blue Queensland. So blue Queensland is that one there. And this is the mystery squash. This looks very much like a red curry, which is one of my favourite squashes. They mature really, really fast. Peppers are doing okay, I suppose. The chili peppers are doing really well. The other peppers, we've got a couple of small fruits there. There's one there that's something's been eating it or something. But we'll see what happens. All the white flowers you can see all over the plot. This is all bindweed. So all these white flowers is bindweed, which is annoying. But we've got more chili peppers here. This is the tiger jalapenos with the variegated leaves. Give them a water before I go. And these are the aubergines. And you know what? I'm going to pick the largest aubergines, take them off and see if it will allow the other aubergines to catch up. So, bit dodgy camera work here because I can't see the screen very well. But I think that's ready to come off. I really can't see the screen. I'm going to take that. So I'm just going to put the camera down and give that a snip. And I'm going to go around and do the other ones. And I'm hoping that this will allow the other aubergines to grow. First attempt growing aubergines, and I'm very, very pleased with that. So let me just get the others off. As you can see, I don't know whether you can see that, but something's been chewing into that one. Are these big? No, they're quite small. I think there's a big one on this one. Yeah, there's a big one at the front. Sorry about the dodgy camera work, folks. So, there we go, there's a second one. So a little bit smaller than the supermarket, but you know what, I'll take them. So, water these chilies before I go. These squashes are still alive, which is good. Squashes will get a wash, water before I go as well. The sweet peas, I don't know, you can see that, you can actually see the pea seeds through the pods. But I'm wait until they go a brownish colour like this, dry brown colour, then I shall pick them. There's a lot there to pick, which is okay, I don't mind that. The carrots, similar problem with the carrots. We did plant a load of more seeds. We've got a few that have come up, but because the top layer is getting dried out, I don't know if you can see that there, seedlings are they're just drying out and getting burnt to death. The other carrots are doing okay. Let's see, is there anything? Okay, so if I have a look there, you can see we've actually got some orange roots there, so that's a good sign. I've got a dozen leeks with me today, and I want to get them in the ground. So I've watered this bed. It's so dry, water's just running through it. And if I look underneath, you know, it's beginning to retain a bit of water, but it's just so dusty and dry. But I'll put the leeks in here. I'll give it another water. Mange too, I have to collect the seeds from that. The lettuce, I've been picking that, that's quite good. Have some of that for my lunch today. Have a chicken fajita or something, or chicken sandwich. Beans, now beans. These are the Blauhild, which is a purple French climbing bean, which I grow every year. They're fantastic, love it. That's perfect size to take. And there's still plenty of flowers on the plant. If I can just, there's something I want to show. As you can see, it's all doing well. And where am I? Right, if you can just look here, I don't know whether you can see that. That there, my thumb. You can see the new bead coming out the back of the flower, pushing the flower off, and that's the new bean. So I'm not sure if, I think these flowers are self-pollinating. I think these flowers self-pollinate just like peas. But once they are pollinated, they come from a flower and they push the flower, remaining part of the flower off, and the bean starts to grow. And they grow really fast. These are, I'll take these before I go home, and I'll bet you when I come up at the weekend there'll be more to pick. However, if I come to these beans, and these are the runner beans, and we can see plenty of flowers, but there's no beans, not a sausage, not a bean. And if I look to see all the nodes you see coming up this stem were all flowers, and there's not one bean on any of them. And it looks like, now, am I getting this wrong? Is that a bean there? I don't know anymore. But I would expect more beans than, you know, coming, because look at that, there's nothing on that one as well. There's nothing on that one. There's nothing on that one. So I don't know whether they grow, take a bit longer to grow than the blue-hilled. And the Greek Gigante, similar. Plenty of flowers. As you can see, some nice white flowers. But I'm not seeing any beans. Now, you tend to get the beans further down in the plant first. But as I says, I'm seeing stalks, flower stalks, with no beans on it at all. So, as you can probably see, the ground's a bit darker. I've just given these a water, just in case increased watering helps. Everything was watered at the weekend. The entire site took me about 2 hours. But we've done it in the evening, so it was a bit cooler. Yeah, I would like to see some beans on that soon. So that's the bean situation. The blueberries have all disappeared. I don't know whether you can just about see some dried up blueberries there. So yeah, that's no good. These are my cherry tomatoes, which are doing okay, and there's a few peppers in there just for somewhere to put things, but they're looking okay at the minute. These are bush cherry tomatoes. They're actually called red pear, so like a pear-shaped tomato, and they will turn red, so it'll be nice little red cherry pear-shaped tomatoes. The two celeriac are still in there. As you can see, that one's getting attacked by the bindweed. The wasabi is all going to seed. That's going to come out when I can get round to it. As you can see, the bindweed flowers are all around the potatoes as well. Now there's a mixture of potatoes in here. Along this row are Cara main crop. Then these two rows are made up of green potatoes. These two rows are made up of green potatoes that I saved from last year. And yeah, they're growing okay, but I don't know if there was main crop and earlies. So I'm hazarding a guess that these ones that are dying out are earlies, and the other ones are still doing okay. The really dark green ones are the main crop. So that's it, and it's almost 12 o'clock, and although there is a bit of a breeze, it's still rather warm. So what I'm going to do I'm going to water. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to water as much stuff as I can. Then I'm going to water the tomatoes, the peppers, and the squashes. I've already watered the aubergines, and I've watered the beans. I've watered the carrots. I've watered the parsnips. So tomatoes, peppers, squashes, and I'll do the rest tomorrow. So I'm just going to move on up to where the top bed where I'm going to put the leeks, and we'll put them in, and then I'll do my watering. Okay, I'm going to try using this bulb planter to do the holes. I don't know if the soil's too dry. If it's too dry, when you try and dig the holes, it just all falls back inside itself. It needs some sort of moisture. And as I said, I've put quite a few watering cans on this, but we'll see what happens. So I'm going to start at this end. Just take it in a bind with a C, because I really don't need it. And, oh no, we can use this. Well, we can use it here. And basically, all I'm doing is I'm dipping a hole and putting the leek in. Now these will need watered until they establish themselves in this weather. This bit dry here, this bit. So I think I'll need to come up tomorrow evening to do a bit more watering. But basically what you do is you dib a hole or core a hole out, put the leek in, then water it in. I think I've got 16 here. These are ones I've started off at home. Yeah, this is bone dry underneath. These are ones I started off at home. And I've just been waiting to bring them up. I was hoping that we were going to get some rain, because I knew the soil was incredibly dry. But I don't want them getting any bigger where they are. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, do three rows of 4. No, I need more than that. 3 rows of 5. 1 of 6. You know what, I can't even remember the variety for these. I will pop it up on the screen because I have got the information at home. But it was so long ago that I actually planted these. Yeah, but this soil is coming out like dust. When I core a hole, the soil is like dust. Yeah, this bed's in a bit of an awkward place because of this raised carrot bed I've got at this side. But it is what it is, we'll use it. And with a bit of luck, that's bone dry. With a bit of luck, the slugs won't come in and bother it. See, because it's bone dry, it just keeps falling back into the hole. So since Monday we have had a little bit of a breeze, which has been a godsend actually. Our living room has not been below 25 all week until this morning. Well, when I say all week, I mean the past week, the past 8 days or whatever. So it's actually feeling quite comfortable this morning, but that'll soon pick up in the afternoon. Yeah, a bit of a rude awakening this morning. EDF came to replace our meters. They were supposed to arrive at lunchtime today, but they decided in their infinite wisdom to come at 8 o'clock this morning. Pip was up, she was up doing things at 8 o'clock this morning. I was lounging in bed reading the news on my phone, because we've got a really nice fan in the bedroom. Bone dry, absolute bone dry. We've got a nice fan in the bedroom, so it's actually, at least we can get some sleep. But hopefully now, at least we did have smart meters in, but the gas one wasn't reporting, so we're having to do manual meter readings every month, which is a pain in the neck. So hopefully now they'll both work and report back to EDF. Right, let's water these in. And for all the ones you dip, all you do is you fill in the hole full of water, and this will wash soil down amongst the roots without getting soil in between the leaves. Because there's nothing worse than when you come to use a leek and it's all got soil between the leaves. I mean, you just got to wash it that bit more, but it's a little bit annoying. And hopefully, once these establish, they'll all sit upright. But yeah, incredible how dry the soil is. In fact, my in-laws who live in Tiverton, which is about 30 minutes up the M5 further north than Exeter, they have been informed that they're on a hosepipe ban. Not that we're allowed hosepipes here in the allotment, but we're allowed to use them at home for the moment. So that's it. That's the leeks, and I'll just try and come up in the evening a couple of times every other day and water them. Otherwise, they might die. Well, that's the leeks in the ground. All I'm going to do now is just go around and water the squashes and the tomatoes. So I'll see you again later. Bye for now. Welcome back everyone. It's Wednesday the 15th of July. It's just gone past midday. So it's really warm again, so I've got one more job I'm going to do before I go home. But let me just give you a quick look at what's happened so far this morning. Okay, to try and get a more consistent watering with these single seed potatoes, I've bought these trays and not filled them with water, but put water in them. So hopefully the more consistent watering, I won't get the problems of the plants dying off. I've also given them all a feed to hopefully give them a little boost. So that's one of the first things I've done this morning. not much else is going on. There's a few beds being weeded. Weed these, weed the carrots. Sorry, not weed, water. The leeks, the carrots, the sweets. I've watered the green beans. And I've also weeded this bed. And I've weeded this bed because this bed is where I'm going to put my beetroot. Now, I've had beetroot growing at home for a while now, and it is really ready to go out. So I'm going to stick these out this morning, and that's going to be the last job I do today. Okay, let's get these beetroots in the ground. I've got this stainless steel multi-tool sort of trowel thing, and if I leave it out in the sun, it gets roasting hot. So, okay, I don't know when these were sown. I haven't got the label, or I didn't label them at the time. But I think they're bolt hardy, and they've been multi-sown, and the roots are coming out the bottom, so they're ready to go in the ground. So when I say they're multi-sown, what I mean is there's several beetroot to each cell. And saying that, it looks like there's only one in this one, but that's not a problem. This will all need to be well watered before I leave here today. The last thing I want to do is put these out just to have them scorched to death. In fact, I might even put some fleece over them to give them some shade. That might be a good idea. So it looks like I'm not getting home as early as I thought I was for lunch. Yeah, I was up yesterday and I mentioned that I might be having a chicken sandwich for lunch using some of the salad that I've got. And I did that. But if I wanted to have like a chicken fajita with some salsa, but there was no salsa, so I decided to make some salsa myself with just some spring onions, tomatoes, and one of the heavenly facing angel chilies that I'd picked. And boy, are those hot. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like chilies. I've got quite a good tolerance. I don't eat the stupidly crazy ones, but yeah, yesterday even I was beginning to wonder, have I done the right thing here? But I survived, so no harm done. In fact, in saying that, I'll probably have the same for lunch again today. So as you can see in some of these plants, there's several beetroot plants growing together, and what will happen is as they grow, they'll push each other apart slightly, and you can just take the biggest ones when you need them. I mean, this soil is really it's bone dry, but with no rain on the forecast, I've got to get them in the ground sooner or later, because they're grown too big for this cell tray. It just means that I'll need to make sure they're watered thoroughly and frequently until they get established. Oh, it's not looking good for these ones. They've left the compost behind. I'll put them in and see, but who knows. So yeah, another hot day here in Exeter. As I said, no rain on the forecast. Tomorrow, no allotment. I've got an appointment in the afternoon, well, about lunchtime. So I've got a few things I'm doing at home, so that'll allow me to get on with them. Yeah, this was a bed that had the garlic and onions in, so I don't think I'm going to use the entire bed for beetroot, but what I might do is I've got some Swedes at home that need to come up, so I might put some Swedes in there, and I'll put some Enviromesh net over them to keep the butterflies off the Swedes, because I've already caught cabbage whites on them at home. This is one of these cell trays from Container Wise, and they're very good, they're very strong, they're going to last a long time. But what I have noticed is that I scotched the leaves yesterday, and these were pristine condition yesterday, and I watered them in the morning, and I came up to the allotment, and when I checked on them in the evening, the leaves had got scorched because I got water on them. So today when I water, I'm going to have to be extra careful to water in between and keep the water off the leaves. Now this is the third time I've sown beetroot this year, and all previous attempts have been scuppered by the snails and slugs. So I'm hoping with the hot weather the snails and slugs are not coming out, but we'll see what happens. And if I'm busy tomorrow during the day, I'll come up here in the evening, hopefully, and give these a water. Okay, not far to go now. We actually had purple beans I picked yesterday. We had them for dinner, and they were very nice as well. And I think we're going to have the aubergines tomorrow, if I can decide on what I'm going to cook, because I've never tasted aubergine before, so it'll be an interesting experience. I mean, this is part of the idea of having an allotment, is trying new things. You know, not only to grow, but to eat as well. And to grow things that you don't normally see in the supermarket, which is another bonus. I mean, very often you buy things like tomatoes and strawberries in the supermarket, and they don't taste of anything because they're grown in hydroponics, grown in water, without the soil or the compost, you know, the nutrients coming from the soil and compost, just artificial nutrients from a bottle. And, well, you get a crop at the end. I think they're lacking in flavour. In fact, twin sister Dolores, she calls them water blisters, and I think she knows a thing about food. She's been a chef for God knows how long now, over 40 years. Sorry Dolores, didn't mean to give your age away of that, but yeah, well, she knows all about food, and I think that's part of the reason why she grows some of her own veg. It's purely because you get real taste. Right, I'm going to put this one up near the top. Just stick that in there. And all I'm going to do now is water these. And if I'm careful, I'm trying to keep the water off the leaves. Well, that's me almost finished for today. I've got one little job. I'm going to give them another 2 cans of water, and I'm going to put a fleece over them just to keep the scorching sun off them. Then that's me, I'm finished for the day. But thanks for watching. If you're enjoying the videos, please feel free to subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. And if you leave a comment, I do try and answer all comments. But thanks again for getting this far and for watching, and I'll see you all again next time.